last month I announced our next quilt along, which is the A Dresden Plate Quilt Along, and that is scheduled to begin on November 1st. And just real quick, if you haven't signed up, there's a link to do so below. This is going to be a really slow quilt along, and we're only going to chat about it every other week. So if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of time but want to make a very time-consuming quilt, this one is for you. So today I wanted to bring up that little surprise that I mentioned when I first announced. I have a fabric surprise, and here is that surprise. All right, so if you're looking at this and you're thinking it's just fabric, it is regular fabric, but the thing about it is that these flowers are really big. So big that you can do this with them, which is really fun to have a fussy cut flower as your Dresden plate center. So I'm like, on the scale of excitement, I am like at an 8 right now. Very excited about this, and very excited about this fabric. And I've got this, you know, to fit with my favorite colors, but I've made a couple more. I made it in green. If you like pastels, I made it in royal blue if you like brights. So you definitely don't have to use this fabric for your Dresden plates. You could use whatever you want, your traditional circle, however you want to do it. But this is just there if you want to do it this way. All right, let's take a closer look at these. I got them in 3 colorways. So they're the same fabric, just, you know, 3 different colors. And this is a 1 yard cut. And then you've got all these options for your Dresden centers. Look at all these fabrics. You could have a different flower on each plate if you wanted to. So here they all are. This one, I think that one's my favorite, but I like that one too. Just lots of options. Now you can still do the circle cut if you wanted to, or you can sit here and cut the little petals so it looks a little bit more realistic. Obviously it doesn't look realistic, but it looks very cute, right? All right, so this is the beaming colorway. And let me show you. Here is the glowing colorway. Now they're very colorful, and you've got, you know, if you don't like the background color, you know, you can cut that off for on most of these. I know on like this one you're kind of stuck with that background, but I was trying to pick background fabrics that made the flowers just pop out from it. I was trying to be not subtle so that, you know, you can really see what you're cutting here. All right, so did I tell you that this is the glowing colorway, and then one more colorway, and it's the mellowing. All right, so there is that one, and this one is a deep, rich brown. And, you know, just depending on which colors you're using for your blades, you know, you could pick these. And I'm marketing this and selling this as Dresden Flower Center fabric, but it would also make a great backing, obviously, because, you know, they're so big. There they are. These are going to release on late October, so you have until October 10 to pre-order them. I'm sure I will try to keep them in stock, but you just never know. Sometimes we run out unexpectedly. So these are available for you. I am going to be using them in the quilt along, and you are welcome to grab a yard of these and use them with me. One thing I do need to say. This is a 1 yard cut opened up, you know. If you were to buy a half yard, you'd only be getting, you know, half the flowers. And if you buy a fat quarter, you'd only get a quarter of the flowers. So just keep that in mind if you're buying smaller increments. If you're looking to use this for the Dresden Quilt Along and you want these for your flower centers, it's in your best interest to buy the 1 yard. But we left the options there for you in case, you know, you're doing something different. All right, here is your close-up of how that fabric center looks on the Dresden plate. It's been a long time since I I have gotten a fabric that was big enough to use as a center of my Dresden plates. And then it just kind of dawned on me as I was preparing for this quilt along that I should just make my own, right? So that's what I've done. And this is considered raw edge applique the way I'm doing it. Of course, you wouldn't have to use raw edge applique if you didn't want to. But that's what I've used, and I've individually, you know, cut all these little petals out, and it's got a little bit of background from that fabric in here. Of course, if you didn't want the background, you could definitely just cut all of that away. You could also just cut it as a plain little circle if you wanted to do that. So there's lots of options for you to be yourself and do your own thing. This is just what I did. So much fun. You can find a link to the Dresden Flower Center fabric right below this video. Until then, I will be getting ready for the quilt along and sending you little updates on the way. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching.